Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004 in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode. And we are here in what other game, man? What other game would it be than the Tennessee game, the one that we play pretty much every single year, outside of all the other SEC teams that kind of fluctuate between good or bad. You know, we used to watch the Georgia games. We've watched an Ole Miss game or two. We haven't seen Auburn in a lot of years because those teams have been cycling in as bad. But Tennessee has been consistently a very competitive squad since we've started this, since we've taken over here in Alabama. Tennessee has been a very consistent squad and one that's given us quite a hard time over the years. However, despite those hard times, we've only ever lost 2 matches to Tennessee in the Sick Naban era. We are 9-2 overall. Now, you got to remember, we played Tennessee in the SEC more than any other team since we've played them in the SEC Championship, I believe, 5 times now? Like 4 or 5 times now. So we've always snuck in, or at least, we've snuck in a lot of extra matches against the Volunteers over the course of our career, our time here in Alabama. So those 2 losses, of course, one was snuck in year 3, I think. They just kind of beat us. And then the next one was during the regular season, in which we were carrying a historic win streak into that game, and Tennessee snapped it. And then we swiftly paid them back the favor by beating them 35-0 in the SEC title game. But hey, man, that's just, I'm just, stating the facts. Just stating the facts. This Tennessee team is coming off a 9-5 campaign last year. They did end up winning the Peach Bowl against Maryland after losing to us in the SEC title game, but they always just seem to make it. So, I mean, that's good enough for them. I'll take it. And the one loss Tennessee does have is to number 3 ranked Colorado State. So, clearly they're not national championship caliber. So let's see how they do against the number 1 team in the country, as Ryan Barton is already getting things off to a swift start, and Thomas Samples is breaking tackles along the sideline to extend plays immediately in this game. He's already showing the physicality that we know exists within Thomas Samples, and we've seen quite a lot of. And Thomas Samples got us off to an early start in the last game, and he's continuing to do so here back home in Tuscaloosa against Tennessee. So we fast forward to a second in inches. We're going to hand this off to Dimitri Galeeman, who has just been an absolute contributor so far this year. I'm already going to victory lap on that decision to start him over J.J. Wright, but it's okay. You guys can wait till the end of the year to give me my flowers, my coaching flowers. But on the next play here, Ryan Barton is just going to fire this one down the seam, and he's going to find an open receiver in the end zone. I believe it was probably Max Price, but we'll get another look at it, I'm sure. And so Barton, doesn't really take a firm drop back. And it was Andrew Solomon who he hits in the end zone. So we haven't seen a lot of Solomon touchdowns recently, but there is one. So if you're a big Solomon fan, there you go. There you go. But Tennessee will not be silenced for long as Shelton Smith, the quarterback, lines this one downfield, and he finds Mo Vaughn, who I think is one of the only recurring names on this Tennessee team from the last time that we played them. Mo Vaughn, a junior now. He had a decent sophomore campaign, failed to reach 1,000 yards, but 8 touchdowns, so can't be super mad about that if you're Tennessee. Now Smith, back to pass again here, collapsing pocket, but he floats one up, and that pass is going to be caught for a Tennessee touchdown, and the Volunteers waste no time answering back to our early score in this game. And that was to Clint Lester. I messed up writing his name. I put an F, but it's Clint Lester who gets the touchdown for Tennessee. The other Tennessee receivers don't have a lot of stats to really write home about because a lot of them are pretty new here. Clint Lester's a freshman, of course, so this is his first season for the Volunteers. But this is not Thomas Samples' first campaign, as he is continuing to feast in this game here. Just 2 receptions, already over 70 yards. Barton takes the snap again, throws it to the other side of the field, and now it's Max Price who's got some open greenery, and he's going to run, and he's eventually going to get tracked down at about the 10-yard line, but not before picking up the first down and plenty more. And Ryan Barton is cooking already in this game here. Completion percentage has been one of his biggest attributes, and he is already showing why in this game. So on 3rd and 6 here, coming in as a top 10 team ranked in 3rd down percentage, but we are not going to convert that one. So that pass falls incomplete in the back of the end zone as Barton fires that one to Max Price, and he can't hold on to it. So bring out John Bellamy, the kicker, on 4th and 6 to try and nail home a go-ahead field goal, and he does. So 10-7 is going to be your score here in a jam-packed Tuscaloosa or Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, as Tennessee now looking to maybe answer back to that here late in the first quarter. So on 2nd and 10, Smith on the run here throws off his foot, and that's exactly why you don't do that, because you might throw an interception. As a new name here, Desmond Heston, who is a senior. He's not a new face, but he's just not a name that we've called too much so far this season, but he gets himself an interception. So there you go. There's a lot of Crimson Tide players in the vicinity who could have made that play, and it just so happened to be Desmond Heston. So we will take that as Thomas Samples continues to get calls here from Ryan Barton, and why not? He's doing great with the opportunities he's getting. So, but he is short on the line to gain here as he steps out of bounds too early. So on 4th and 1, Sicknaven, we know he loves to be aggressive here, and he does stick to the aggressiveness as we throw this one out here quickly. And it looks like to the backup tight end. Can you believe that? We threw that to the backup tight end, Lenny Horner, the backup tight end, and he gets us the first down. So, hey, man, if that's the first catch he has all year, we will take it as Thomas Samples gets his 4th catch of this game, and it's going to finally be a touchdown catch for Thomas Samples. So it's about time he got himself a touchdown here in this game here, given how much Barton has been giving him chances through the air, and he finally gets that touchdown pass. Hopefully he gets multiple in this game. But the first quarter is going to come to a close as we extend to a 10-point lead over the Volunteers, over the 14th-ranked Volunteers, 17-7. But Tennessee already on the move here. Shelton Smith drops back to pass here, steps up in the pocket, unloads across the middle, and once again finds Clint Lester, the freshman, to get inside the 20-yard line of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And so our defense here showing, struggling at least to be as resilient against this Volunteer offense here. But on a 2nd and 1 now, we're going to fast forward, and Shelton Smith quickly unloads to Lester once again. And it looks like the freshman seems to be one of his favorite targets here, or perhaps, I guess, our DBs might be locking down Mo Vaughn, who is the top receiver on this staff. So it looks like Lester's going to get a lot of the calls here. But on 2nd and goal, we might expect the run game to get involved, and it does, as Tennessee's running back Zach Myers, the senior, bounces outside the line of scrimmage and gets into the end zone for another Tennessee touchdown. And we'll get another look at it. I mean, not much happening here, but just an easy touchdown for Myers as he gets into the end zone. So now trying to answer back here is Alabama on offense, and Barton dropping back to pass on a deep shot downfield, and it's Thomas Samples once again. Have yourself a game, Mr. Samples. 182 yards in the first half. 182 yards in the first half. I don't know what the record is for Alabama receivers for yardage in the first half, but Thomas Samples got to be going for it. So with goal to go here, Barton completely, I don't know what he was doing, man. Another brain fart from Barton, and that fumble is going to be recovered by Tennessee. Barton completely moves. He doesn't really drop back, which is a thing we've been seeing. He doesn't do a full drop back. He just takes a step behind the line, runs into it, and then fumbles. So Tennessee's going to get an opportunity here on offense now, and they're absolutely doing something with it, as Smith is able to hit Vaughn downfield for a huge first down, now under 2 minutes, now close to about a minute and a half in the red zone for Tennessee. So Tennessee's going to hand this one off to Myers again, the running back, and Myers, the seas part in the middle of the field, and he's going to get into the end zone for another Volunteer touchdown. And that one looked like it was maybe dead to rights, at least in a few different spots, but no, man, he just slides through. He's got a similar build to Lehman does, and as you can see, he just relied on that speed that just kind of squeaked through all of our defense right there. So 21-17, Tennessee takes a lead here late in the first half, but Barton here under a minute takes a shot downfield, and it's Thomas Samples once again along the sidelines. And look at that, 221 yards in the first half. He's been the entire offense here for Alabama, 221 yards. So 49 seconds left to go here, trying to get into the end zone before the game or the half comes to a close. Barton, plenty of time, fires one in the middle of the field here, and it's going to be caught in the end zone for another Bama touchdown. And Barton has just been absolutely surgical outside of his brain fart of a fumble that he had, absolutely surgical with the football through the air. An amazing throw, and we have a completion here from a receiver. I don't even know, he's not even listed. Out of the 4 receivers I have, we got receiver number 5 get involved in this game. Can you believe that? So 40 seconds, Tennessee still has time to answer back if they want to, and it looks like Mo Vaughn's got a step here. Frazier's in pursuit. Can he make a diving catch? And he does. He finally catches him up by the shoestrings. Harold Frazier's got to come from behind, but Mo Vaughn nearly had a one-play touchdown there for Tennessee. So with 15 seconds on 3rd and goal, Tennessee's going to hand it off to their fullback, and he is not going to make it. Dimitri Walters has to dive for the goal line, and he's not going to make it. So Tennessee, rather than maybe, risk it for the biscuit here to get into the end zone, they're just going to burn the time down and take a field goal on 4th and goal and tie this game with just 2 seconds left on the clock, which, of course, will expire after the kickoff. And now we're heading into the locker room after one half of play, tied up at 24 with our bitter rivals, man. And we are battling once again with these Volunteers. We've been in this position before. We've had plenty of close games with Tennessee before, and it looks like this one might be more of the same as Myers gets a nice little run on the outside edge, and he's going to at least pick up the first down for Tennessee here. Not an impressive run, but it does get the job done. So fast forward to a 3rd and 5 now. Our defense trying to get Tennessee off the field here. Pressures on to Smith, gets rid of it off of his back foot, and it looks like Vaughn had a play on it. It hit off his hands, but he couldn't haul it in. So that pass falls incomplete, and now Tennessee will have to rely on special teams to take another lead in this ball game. The kick is up, and it's a little bit scary, but it does scrape past the crossbar, and that kick is going to be good. So Tennessee takes 11 plays, burns off a ton of time off the clock here, but it only ends up in 3 points. That's what you need your defense to do. But now it's 3rd and 10 for us, close to about midfield. Pressure's on to Barton. On the run, he makes a huge throw downfield, and somehow Baker's going to come down with it, the freshman. I have no idea how, but Mr. New 89, Stephen Baker, is going to make that catch somehow in a whole web of coverage, and we're going to get another look at this. And yeah, man, look at that double coverage. I think there was another receiver. Yeah, Andrew Solomon was in the area, but somehow Stephen Baker's the one who comes down with it. So we will happily take that. So 1st and goal from about the 10, so it's a long goal to go. And Barton is only going to take a single play to find Thomas Samples, who's going to get his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. And now we take the lead once again over Tennessee, and this lead is going to exchange back and forth. I can foresee it. As the 3rd quarter comes to a close, we're going to hang on to a 31-27 point lead. So Tennessee in an interesting spot here, down by 4. They're going to need to get into the end zone, or at least find a way to erase that deficit if possible. Barton, under pressure though, throws a wobbler of a ball, and that one's going to get picked off in triple coverage. I'm going to say he was hit as he threw, because that pass definitely did not go where he wanted it to go. So it looks like he might have been hit as he threw. The pass was definitely not a clean spiral, so definitely probably hit as he threw, but Tennessee's going to get a gifted opportunity right here in our territory, and already, man, Shelton Smith is not wasting any time getting the ball to Clint Lester, the freshman, man. Look at that breakdown in general, man. Lester and Vaughn, 8 receptions apiece, over 200 yards, well over 200 yards, close to 300 yards, but Tennessee now inside the red zone, got to get the first here, and Shelton Smith finds his man in the back of the end zone as he nails another Tennessee receiver in the back of the end zone. He was just absolutely blanketed as well. And I think it was Huey McNeil. That's who they flashed really quick. And Huey McNeil, the 3rd receiver on the depth chart, in a whole web of coverage, but he is going to make the catch. So Tennessee takes the lead once again, 34-31, and we are battling once again, folks, in the 4th quarter. Barton dumps this one off quickly to Max Price. Max Price getting away from the coverage, and it's a foot race here. A foot race he's probably not going to win, but it's okay because we get inside the 15, which is one massive play here for Max Price, who we haven't seen a ton of in this game here. He's had a few big plays, and he gets us another one, gets us another huge one, and we're going to live and die off of these big plays, man, because I don't think we have a ton of time to chip away at these long drives, because Tennessee has shown that they can answer back to any offense that we put up. So we're going to have to score quickly here, I think. I think it's going to be a battle of endurance, and we're probably going to win if we continue on that pace. So 2nd and 10 now here, just 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter in the red zone. Barton drops back to pass, and he throws it to Max Price once again, who's got to come out of the end zone to get it, but he's going to cut up field and dive for the pylon, and they're going to say that he was in. So that's another touchdown for this Crimson Tide offense, and Max Price is going to check in here. So 38-34, Tennessee now back on offense here. Shelton Smith takes a deep bomb downfield, and that pass is going to be caught along the sideline inside the 40. And now Tennessee once again is back on the prowl here, back in pursuit with a chance here. So on 3rd and 9 here, Shelton Smith drops back to pass, and that pass is broken up in the middle of the field here. There was again a whole web of coverage. It wasn't really a clean throwing lane, and Clint Lester could not get his hands on it fully. So now Tennessee gonna have to make a decision here, and on 4th and 9, coach is keeping the Volunteer offense on the field. I guess you got him, man. Shelton Smith takes a shot towards the end zone, and that pass is broken up by Neil Goodwin, the free safety. He gets a hand on it and breaks that pass up, and now Tennessee turns it over on downs, and now with just under 2 minutes, we just have to play smart football, man. But on 3rd and 9, we got to get a first down, and Barton dumps this one off here, and it's going to be a first down and plenty more, and it's going to be a touchdown for Max Price, who gets into the end zone. I think it was Max Bryson. No, it was Stephen Baker or Stephen Barker. Stephen Barker gets into the end zone off of this play here, and it looked like a dead to rights play right at the sticks here, but he cuts upfield and gets into the end zone, uses that freshman speed to get into the end zone. And Stephen Barker, the new 89, really making things happen in this game. So 45-34 is your score, and at a desperation, Tennessee trying to do something, and instead what they're going to do is find Tyler Kennedy, the strong safety, for another interception here. For Mr. Kennedy, man. He's got plenty on the year. I think he had one in the last game, and he's got one in this game. So that is going to ice things in Tuscaloosa, and we're going to hang on to win and beat Tennessee here 45-34. So this is not the first high-scoring affair that we've had against Tennessee. We've had plenty in the annals of history with this series here. If you guys remember the 51-44 game that we had when it was 2 versus 14. We were ranked number 2 and they were 14th. That was a couple seasons ago. Yeah, I mean, we're used to high-flying scores in this game, so this is really nothing new for us. Both teams posting over 500 yards of offense, 1,060 total yards of offense between both teams here. Both quarterbacks just really lighting things up, man. Can't be super mad about it. But Ryan Barton has himself an MVP caliber game. I'm not sure if there's another Crimson Tide quarterback in the Sicknaven era who's had a game as good as this. Man, we'd have to go back to single game performances. Maybe in that 51-44 game, maybe, I forget who was quarterback there. It might have been Stephen Bentley. I'm not sure. Tim Lewis. But one of them, maybe, in that game probably had a better stat line. I'm not sure. But for sure, I'm very impressed. Dimitri Gleeman, though, silenced by Tennessee. We really had to rely on Thomas Samples, who has an MVP caliber game himself. But Dimitri Gleeman really silenced in this game. So I was victory lapping at the beginning of the video, and then by the end, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe the production wasn't there. But I know Dimitri Gleeman's had a great season. So we follow up this victory against Tennessee with a massive whopping of Mississippi State, who is again looking for any wins they can find. But this is the tricky stuff that we're going to get into here that I didn't show in our schedule. So taking a look at the standings now, we are currently in the lead, and we play LSU, who's having a decent year, but they're not very good. And if they were to beat us right now, they wouldn't really control their path to the SEC title game, or at least the SEC West. We would still be in the driver's seat because we beat Arkansas, who would, then be 5-1, and we would be 6-1. LSU would also be 5-1. So they'd have to win out their next SEC games, which is no guarantee at 6-3. So also taking a look at the bowl rankings here, we currently sit atop of them, of course, with Southern Miss and Colorado State behind us, and Maryland's the only other team who doesn't have a loss right here in this kind of top 5 mixture. But if we were to lose, Southern Miss and Colorado State would essentially just take the road. So we're going to sim the next couple weeks because both Auburn and LSU were not very good. We did win those games as well to finish with a 12-0 record, and now we're going to simulate through the final weeks here. And there you see Tennessee, man. Tennessee managed to win out on the eastern side once again. South Carolina could not hold on for what feels like the second or third year in a row. They come close, but just so far away to making it to the title game. But we do win the West, and as you can see, LSU would lose another conference game. Arkansas would lose another conference game, so we were in no risk of losing our spot in the West, even if we lost a game. And we still sit atop the rankings. Maryland falls out, but Southern Miss and Colorado State are still directly behind us. So all the SEC title game will really prove is whether or not Southern Miss and Colorado State will play in the Natty or not, versus us. So when we come back here, we're going to play Tennessee again, man, this time in the SEC Championship. So hope to see you guys back when we play the Volunteers again.